Take one of the most successful film trilogies of all time and throw it into a blender with The Legend of Zelda, and you'll get Lord of the Rings: Aragorn's Quest. This obviously isn't the only game based on the three movies, but it is the first console version of the franchise from Warner Bros. Interactive. And while it's an adventure that lacks surprises, the publisher, along with developer Headstrong Games, created a fun adventure with a lot of fan service for those that really enjoy the Peter Jackson films and the original Tolkien novels.
The riders came to us in the night, but Strider had found us first.
What are they?
The game is actually set after the films and told in flashback by Samwise Gamgee as he recounts his adventures with the Fellowship. Sean Astin reprises his role as Sam in the voiceover as he recalls his experiences with the Ranger Aragorn, all the way up to the incredibly intense final battles towards the end of Return of the King. Warner Bros. Utilizes its license to the fullest. They snagged not only a couple of key voice actors in Astin and Gimli's John Rhys Davies, but also the epic Howard Shore orchestral score and choice soundbites from the film. The game's not a bad-looking game on Wii either, with a game engine that can fill the screen with enemies without much of a drop in performance. The huge variety of environments look stunning, but it seems that the artist couldn't decide on a style. Many characters look like exaggerated versions of their counterparts, while others, like Legolas, are a little close to looking like their real-life actor. It's a little creepy. Each chapter is a self-contained adventure, with players controlling Aragorn in a behind-the-character perspective. The game uses the standard Wii Remote and Nunchuck pairing. You can perform sword attacks with up, down, left, and right swings on the remote with impressive accuracy. Character movement and supplemental attacks are handled on the Nunchuck. If you've got a friend, he can jump in at any time and play as Gandalf, making the game feel a little like the original Gauntlet. Aragorn's Quest is very much inspired by the classic Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, at least in the action and exploration. There's very little in the way of puzzle solving, and beyond a few fetch quests, you'll spend most of your time honing your sword and target shooting skills. It plods along early in the game with a lot of slow-paced backtracking, but each successive chapter becomes much more action-oriented, and by the end, there's very little downtime, as you'll be fighting to survive. The designers wrap these levels around an open world that takes place in the Hobbit Shire, with players taking control of Sam's son as he pretends he's Aragorn. This is a pretty clever way of giving players something fresh in the Lord of the Rings world, and a fun way to train players when new moves and techniques unlock. Because the game follows the Lord of the Rings story pretty closely, there are very few surprises in Aragorn's Quest. But it's a fun romp through key moments in the classic franchise, and a nice way to experience the three books condensed into a dozen-hour adventure. Check out my full written review on IGN.com.